because Amber asked me to. I hope you're front and center on the beginning of the recording. Okay, share my screen. Although now I'm realizing that since I had to restart, there's nothing to share. Sheesh Louise.
Don't you dare start crying out, my little boy.
It's been a day. And then like John, the 3-year-old, is just acting like a alien right now. 3 is, I'm telling you, y'all watch out for the 3-year-old little boys.
Sounds terrifying.
I got 3 more years till that, but I know it'll be here like tomorrow, so it's fine.
It does. It gets there so fast.
It does. It really does. Austin and I were just talking today, like, oh my gosh, last year at this time, Maddox couldn't even sit upright, and now he's running everywhere, saying, boots.
He's so cute. He's Dolph's kid. Like, all of my coaches' kids are my favorite thing to see go across my Instagram feed. I'm like, here they come.
They're so cute.
Oh, okay. So this, for the 1000th time, this is my mission. Megan, I feel like you may be the one who like hasn't seen this, and anyone else who maybe watches the call later. But the mission that for the team that I have like envisioned, and just kind of what God has revealed to me over the past 3 years, is that I'm obsessed with believing in the woman God created me to be, and I'm helping other women do the same. So my thought process is, like, I used to live in pity and shame and self-hate and fear of failure, and when I got past that, like, this has been the best 3 years of my life, thanks to what Beachbody has shown me and pulled me out of and given me like consistent routine. And so that's why I bring this to other women. So that's my mission. And then to take that mission and fulfill the vision of having women, coaches, you guys, in our challenges on our team, take this truth of who they are from scripture and apply it to their lives. And my vision is actually to see us go on to be like an elite team next year, but we'll get to that on another team call. And so just here at the bottom, I have, sorry, John's really loud. Proverbs 31 is something that, like, when I was growing up, I heard mixed reviews on it, like, oh, this is such an amazing woman, and oh, well, none of us can be her, or oh, this is a snapshot of like 20 women all put together, and so this is what a virtuous woman can look like. And recently, God has just really laid it on my heart that this is one woman, and she is doing what God has called her to do, and that we are just as capable of that if we will follow the call, if we will put our, whatever, if we just dig in and go for it, this is what we can be as well. And so I read it as an affirmation and a prayer for my life. Like, Lord, I'm in this way, I'm not a Proverbs 31 woman right now, and I want you to cultivate that in me. Or, Lord, thank you for making me this part of the Proverbs 31 woman. And so I look at it that way. Overall goal, at this point, it's looking like I'm kind of shifting this goal a little bit, but not by much, is to become a 1-star diamond team with 10 elite points by December 31st. FYI, we have 45 elite points as a team, so that's exciting. I think now it's 47 after this past month. And so we're way hitting the elite point mark. We just haven't hit the 1-star diamond point yet. And then the why is that our goal is to help people, just to put it very simply. Like, you could look at this and say, oh, well, Lauren wants that, or our team wants that because we just want to hit the goal or reach the benchmark. But really the why behind these benchmarks is, if we hit those, that means we're helping more people. So that's the main goal, and because it's fun. So as emeralds, I want to talk to you guys specifically as, like, to become an emerald. Like, why would you want to do this? How can you do this? So to reach emerald, a coach must have at least 50 PV during the week, each Thursday. And what that looks like is an order of Shakeology, just an ongoing order, or an ongoing order of the beach bars. So 2 boxes of beach bars is, I think it's like 60 or maybe 70 points, but I know it's over 50. So I know it does count. That's what I actually use to keep Josh's account active. So we use the beach bars, and then like another one would be Daily Sunshine or the Recover and Energize combo. So that is the 50 PV. And then you need to have at least one personally sponsored active coach on each leg. So if you're looking at you as a coach and then you're looking at your downline, you need to have one personally sponsored coach on each side, the left and the right. And then they need to be active as well. So just to kind of show you what I did, this was probably 2.5 years ago. This was probably 2.5 years ago. I signed up Josh because he was drinking my Shakeology and I was running out and I was getting ticked. And so I signed him up for his own bag. And then my grandmother loved Shakeology. And so she signed up as a discount coach as well. So those were my two coaches. And I went Emerald within 6 months, which people can say, oh, that took a long time or it didn't. I wasn't really actively building the business. So I was like, oh, cool, I'm Emerald. I wasn't really like shooting for that, but when I got there, I was like, this is great. Because I didn't really understand the benefits of all of this, like I'm about to share with you guys. And so I went Emerald, and then I just want to go ahead and put this out there that you guys are like in such a more exciting place, like that you get to choose between Energize and Recover and beach bars and all the other things. Like I'm sure there's going to be something else that comes out this year. Like when I first started, the only HD order you had was Shakeology. That's it. And so to keep active, you had to have Shakeology. And so that was like and Daily Sunshine now. So that was the only way to stay active. So it's just, I don't know, just really excited that you guys get to experience that. And I didn't at the beginning. And so, why do you want to hit Emerald? So my upline coach, who is actually not even a coach anymore, she was telling me about all these benefits. And I was like, okay. And I didn't really understand it until it happened. But when you become an Emerald coach, you get customer leads. So, but here's the deal. Here's the catch. And it's not really a catch. It's just business. To get those leads, you have to be Emerald and then also have Success Club 5 the previous month. So as an example of that is I got Success Club 5 last month. I was Emerald rank or higher. So what that means is sometimes this month, and it'll happen about 2 or 3 times, I'll get a random person who has ordered something from like the hotline or has ordered something from just Googling, and they will assign that to one of these random coaches, and I will get that order and I'll get the commission off of that. So like it's happened before where I have gotten, someone ordered like $400 worth of stuff and I got the commission off of it just because I had Success Club 5 and was Emerald. And then like there's one guy named Dion. I've emailed him before. He never responded. But Dion orders Shakeology like every other month. And so I get that commission, and he was just like a random. And so like that really is awesome. Like that is residual income for sure. But people don't even know. I didn't even like recruit them per se. And then additionally, once you become Emerald and you start building volume. So like, for example, I'm going to use Emily. I'm going to name drop here. Emily Chrisman is an Emerald coach, but she just hit Emerald, and literally her only 2 customers are her coaches. And so she's not going to have much volume. She's not going to have enough to be cycle bonusing every single week. But as she builds and as she has customers and coaches come under her, she will get team cycle bonuses. I'm getting about $250 of extra money, not from sales, from that team cycle bonus that I have just from my rank. So when I was in Emerald, it was about $175 was what I was just getting extra each month. And so in addition to my commission, I get these team cycle bonuses, which is what you get once you start hitting Emerald and Ruby and Diamond and 1-star Diamond and above. Also, once this, you don't even have to be Emerald to get the Success Club points. But I do want to touch on Success Club really quick because it's so freaking fun. And then also they're doing things right now. Like Danielle and I were talking and could not believe some of the things they're rolling out with. So if you didn't hit Success Club last month, it's already too late for you, but this is still awesome to talk about. If you get Success Club in October, November, and December, they're going to give you $200 so you can get the summit. They have literally never done anything like that I've ever heard of. Not before I was a coach, not since I've been a coach. Like, that's insane to me. They're just like, hey, you hit Success Club. You obviously know what you're doing. We want you at Summit. Here's $200 for gas money or hotel or whatever. Which if you had to buy a ticket, that would have reimbursed the ticket plus still giving you $50. So super awesome incentives. But then on top of that, like what is the extra value? On top of just like, I have a lot of coaches. I'm just going to side note here. A lot of coaches who are like, well, I don't do this for the points. I do it to help people. And I'm going to be honest with you guys, helping people does not, that is my goal. It is totally my goal. Hear me out. Totally my goal, but it does not move me past the point of getting rejected. When I say I want to help people, what that turns into is me like sharing stuff online, but not sharing in inboxes. And so when I don't share in inboxes, I don't make sales. I just don't. Here's what always happens with me is I post my workouts. I post how it's changed me. I post my before and after, not just pictures, but also just like, I felt like this before and I felt like this after. Here's my life before, here's my life after. And I get nothing, hardly anything. But then I'll send a message to someone in their inbox and I'm like, hey, I don't know if you've seen my post, but I'm doing this and I love it and it's changed my life. Would you want to join us? And like all the time, people are like, yes, I'm so glad you asked. I see your post, but I'm too scared to reach out. So these like Success Club points and these benchmarks push me past the just posting on social media and get me into people's inboxes so that I am actually changing lives. Because before Success Club points, like before I cared about Success Club points, I said I cared about people, but I obviously didn't because I wasn't reaching out. And so anyways, Success Club points are like a double motivation for me. They're really fun. I love what all you can do with them. And then also they get me into people's inboxes to show people that I really do care about them enough to invite them. So anyways, my favorite Success Club prizes. So I love the monthly stuff. Like that's fun. Like it's awesome to get a ball cap. It's awesome to get, access to something early, or it's awesome to get a t-shirt or a tank. But for hitting it consistently, I absolutely am stoked out of my mind to go on a cruise with my husband next year in March for 5 days without my children. Like I can't even explain to you my excitement. Talk about it all the time. Like it's like the coming of Christ, the second coming, because I'm that excited. I'm just like, oh my, we haven't had a vacation by ourselves, FYI, since John's been born. So I'm just like, Lord, I needed this trip. And that got me in people's inboxes. So I visualized and I was like, I'm going on this trip. And so that is that's what's changed me this year. Like the reason you two are on this team that are here on this call is because I was like, I'm going on a cruise. And so that's why, that's what got me, excited about all this. And then Success Club parties. Megan, you get to go with me to a Success Club party. It was a good time, but it was also just fun to like see the other coaches. I don't like just being that close to those other coaches who are like top 10. It was really crazy and weird in a really fun way. And then Megan, I think one of Kylan's stuffed animals came from that. Am I right?
You're right. It did.
Didn't you win like a goldfish or something?
Yep. It's in his room.
And the cupcakes were amazing. So
Yep.
that was really fun. And like, obviously, like I got to take a guest with me and I chose Megan on the trip because I knew she'd probably enjoy it. It was her speed the most. And then other Success Club prizes, the free summit ticket. So if you're like a brand new coach and you hit it with the first 3 months, you get that free summit ticket, which is awesome. And then for me, this is just me personally, like this is a rank advancement thing. But if you are diamond by summit, I'm going to pay for your hotel room. So that is from me as your coach, not from Beachbody, but there's just that as a side note. So here's the logistics. Like I said, I signed up my husband and my grandmother, and that made me a stable emerald until I started building. And so the thing that I hear a lot of coaches say is it's like, well, I don't want to have to build this business if I have to like make my grandma and my husband a coach. And I wasn't about it either. But what that did was it just got me to Emerald until I could actually get to Emerald, if that makes sense. And I see a lot of coaches do that. Like a lot of top coaches, like I listened to a video, like Holly Hillier, she is one of the top 10 coaches, was saying yesterday that she, or last week, that she like built her husband's leg up to diamond first. And he was one of her 5-star diamonds that made her elite. And that's just what you do in the beginning. And that's how you get there. And so sometimes we look at these coaches and we think they just built so fast. And it's like, no, they built just like we are building. It just takes time to like get there. So no, your husband will not have to be a coach forever unless you just want the extra income that you get off of him. You don't have to rely on your grandmother to keep you to certain ranks. That's just until you start building and until you start building that confidence to build, to be honest. So let's see, one person should be someone you're super close to. Now I do agree with this. I put Josh where I put Josh because I knew I was going to build this eventually. Now it took me a long time. So if you're one of these people that is like, I'm just sitting on this opportunity until I feel right about it. That was me. I was like, I'm not going to invite anyone to do this with me until I know that it's legit and it's something I believe in. And so, but I did put Josh as my weak leg coach because I wanted to make sure that when I started building, he would start getting cycle bonuses. Now, he is not there yet. He's not getting cycle bonuses yet because I haven't built him up yet. But that is like next year's goal. So I'm just taking this chunk by chunk. This year I built up my business. Next year I'll build up his a little bit more plus mine. And so then he will start getting those cycle bonuses where he's getting money for nothing. Just because of the volume I'm putting under him. So, and I can give you guys training on that separately. I don't want to take up the whole time talking about using your husband or your spouse, or boyfriend, like Emily has her fiance there. Like it's just someone, there's a lot of coaches who aren't married and don't have boyfriends and aren't going to put a random guy there that they're just dating and they use their mom. And so it's just whoever someone is close to you that does not mind using, like you putting your bank account in for them and using their social security number. Like my mom is one of my coaches. And so she was like, yeah, sure. That's fine. So anything that she earns, if she does, it goes into my account. So that's how that works. And same way with Josh's. And then keep that person active with the 50 PB order, which is beach bars, daily sunshine, Shakeology, recover, and energize. Those are your options there. So that's just like the nitty gritty logistics. And like I said, you don't have to keep these people, like this is not about building your business with like other people who aren't actually building your business. Like it will get to that point at some point when you do these things. So this is like the actions I say that you have to conquer in order to do this. Megan, and you too, because you have a 1-year-old. We're all in this stage. We're in the power hour or the power pocket stage of our lives. Like I'm so jealous of Danielle, who's like, oh, my kids went to school and I stayed home and I did all my work. I'm like, oh, good for you. Watch this, and she knows how I feel about that. But anyways, we have to do power pockets, and it's just the way it is. And Danielle had to do it at one time too. So I'm like, I'm giving her a hard time as a joke. But we're in the power pocket stage of our lives and in our coaching where it's like, okay, 15 minutes. I can make a post in 15 minutes before my 3-year-old gets off the pot and I have to wipe his butt. So it's like, 15 minutes, I can do this right now. And then like for you, Megan, it's like, oh, I have, 10 minutes while he finishes up nursing. I can send out like 3 invites. Mm-hmm. Now I personally, and even like showing up for team calls and national wake up calls, guys, I do not expect you to show up for calls like with anything planned. Like Tara shows up and she's meal prepping the whole time. So you can totally meal prep while I'm doing these, giving you these small trainings here and there while you're listening to the national wake up calls. So show up for those. Adding new people. Megan, you were asking me about this today. I have separate videos for all of these because I don't like to, this would be like a 4-hour training if I just went through all of these. But adding new people, what I do for that, I actually use a service. I pay $40 a month for this service to find new people for me, the same way that I would do it manually. And here's how I would do it manually. I go to big accounts that I like. One that I really like, I'll just use an example, but don't use hers because she has a lot of weird people. Joanna Gaines. She's a big account. She's a big public figure. Everyone loves her. And so you could technically go to her account, look at her most recent post and go to who liked it or who commented on it. Because those are the people that are actively using Instagram and are actively on it, within a day or two and are actually interacting. And so what you do is you go down that list of people who liked your post and you find people that look like they'd be your people. One that I do this with is like Gwyneth Paltrow. I think she's amazing. I love her. I also do books that I'm reading currently. So like Annie F. Downs, I'm reading 100 Days to Brave. So I go to her account. I find people that I think would be my people and I add them. You have to be careful though, because like, for example, Miss Rachel Hollis, you would not want to do hers because all the people that follow her and love her are people that are building MLM businesses. So like, you wouldn't want to go to Rachel Hollis, but find people that are, you know, big public figures that you love. Like I did Alexis, I did Allie B. Stuckey because I'm like, hey, her people are obviously my people. And I've gotten so many funny friends from her. It's hilarious. So
She is hilarious. It's hard to not enjoy those people.
she's a nut. Yeah. And I'm like, exactly. Like I know these people, like I can make certain comments and they'll be like, pray.
Yeah, girl.
So it's like, right. So it's like, oh, I'm going to follow her, like breath of fresh air.
Yes.
So she's one of my people. One that I just did, so we'll see how this works out, is Sadie Robertson from like the Duck Dynasty. So I picked her. Just like random people that you just like. Go find them, go to their accounts, follow people that they follow. Connect with those people. So whenever they follow you, whenever you get a follow, send them a message. And it doesn't, I promise you, they are not creeped out by this, especially if you continue to show up on your Instagram and they're like, oh, she is just a real person. I just send them a message. I say, hey, thanks for the follow. I love connecting with women on Instagram. What do you do? And sometimes they're like, what do you mean, like for work? And I'm like, yes, for work. I don't know what else I'm asking you about. So I need to probably clarify that. But I just ask them like what they do for a living. And a lot of times it's they're in college or, you know, I'm an accountant or I'm this. And people answer me all the time. Like they're not freaked out by it. If they're on Instagram, it's usually because they got on Instagram to connect with people. And so when people are actually doing that, they answer back. And then the best part is they, when Instagram or Facebook too sees that you're actually connecting with someone behind the scenes, they'll push more of your posts into their feed. So that is how I also grow how many people are seeing my feed. That engagement is everything. And then inviting. Do you guys want to know how I do that? Okay. So, because Tara's like, I feel like Tara's always like, I hear it every 5 minutes. So I didn't know if you guys needed to know that or not. So I post my workouts religiously for 2 reasons on Instagram stories. And Emily was asking me how I do this. You can do the rolling app. That's what Danielle does, where it just does like a 15-minute clip and it kind of does it for her. To me, honestly, that's another thing that I have to do. So what I do is I just post, like I film like 5 minutes of my workout. I go through that and then edit it down to like 10-minute sections or 10-second sections. And I do 2 to 3 of those. And I put those on my stories. And then I honestly will put like what was going through my head in those workouts or like what Chris Downing said that made me push through or just something like that. But I obviously don't use words like that because then they'll go research those words. But I'll just say my trainer is telling me to get better. And so like I'm like bound determined to get better. And just stuff like that. And I have women all the time that are like, you're so inspirational. I'm like, I didn't do anything. I just posted my workout. But it's that inspirational for people. And like there have been times people are like, oh my gosh, I put pizza back in Walmart because I thought of your Instagram account. I'm like, what is this world? That's ridiculous. So your posts do matter and stuff like that. But side note. But anyways, I post those so that people see that and so that I make that kind of an impact. But then this is what I do after that. I'll go back to my archives and I'll pick the last workout post that I did. And it shows you who viewed it. And so I go down that list of who viewed it and I say, literally, this is what I say. Hey, thank you so much for watching my Instagram stories. It takes a lot to put myself out there. It takes a lot to put myself out there all the time, but I do it for women like you who support me. So thank you so much. And then sometimes I just send those messages out just to kind of connect with people. But then I usually say underneath it, like right underneath it, I'll say, would you want to hear about our next challenge so you can join us? And that is key where I say our challenge and join us. So it's not this me thing. People get a little, I've just learned mostly from being scammed myself, like people sending me those weird messages, that I am so much more open and receptive when it's like, I can tell there's a team behind it. Like there was a girl the other day that sent me a message and this was brilliant to me. She sent me a message and she was with Monet, the hair shampoo people. And she was like, hey, me and this girl, and she actually tagged them in the message, saw your account and thought you would make an amazing team member for us. Would you want to check it out? Blah, 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 blah. But she actually tagged other people on her team. And even though I knew the marketing behind it, I still went to those accounts because I was like, I kind of want to do this just the way that she like tried to recruit me. And so I was like, there's a big, it's just big to say our and join us. And like, even when I say our team or our boot camp, I don't even say, even if I'm the only one running the boot camp, I still say it's our boot camp because it's a group of women with a common goal. So that's been huge. And then I tend to do that, or I try to do that. I've been a slacker since November started. But anyways, I try to send that to at least 100 women per week. And then I follow up with those women. I don't know. I wouldn't say it's a solid 100 because sometimes those are follow up. So I'd say about 75 are new and then 25 are follow up. And then Kate Morgan, I don't know if you guys have I've creeped her on YouTube and stuff because she's a new coach that started in January and is like 7-star diamond right now. I can't even fathom that. But what she says is she will just literally like once a month send it to people, and she'll have like 12 messages in a row where they've ignored her. And then all of a sudden randomly they'll be like, okay, I'm ready. And so it's like, just know, even though they have ignored her, they're still, she said, if they're still following me, then they are still there for what I'm offering. So I'm going to send it again. And so I've been like that lump in my throat. I'm like, okay, I'm going to do it. I'm going to send this message to this girl again. It's the 4th month in a row. Let's see. Let's watch her ignore me again. And sure enough, she'll ignore me. But then like within a few months or weeks, she's like, okay, all right, I'm ready. And then I had a girl tell me the other day, she was like, hey, I'm telling you no again this month, but please keep asking me because eventually I'm going to say yes. And I like laughed. I was like, oh, what? I didn't even know how to respond to that because she like told me her like psychology behind it of just like, just keep asking. I'm going to say no again, but just keep asking until I say yes. And I'm like, okay. And I just feel like that's what a lot of people do to us. They're like, they're still following you. So if they're still following you and they haven't like blocked you, send them the message. They're still open to it at some degree. And then run solid challenge groups. That goes without saying. One thing I've been doing for that, by the way, is finding good books like 100 Days to Brave and turning those into challenge group posts, by the way. They're like short snippets. You can do that. And then I also do it on my Instagram account, like makes good posts. So find like quick little things that you can read once a day that you can turn into a post very easily. So yeah, there's that. What are your questions? Because I'm sure there's plenty.
I just go ahead. Thought I heard myself echoing, so it caught me off guard. Like, how do you just like muster up the courage to be like, yeah, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna go ask. You know what I mean?
Yes, I totally get that.
So like, I just like, there are times where I'm like, yes, I can do it, and then I end up psyching myself out, and then I don't do it. Maybe it's like borderline perfectionist. I don't know.
One thing that helps me is to listen to other, like the National Wake Up Calls for sure help me with that, because I like to hear I love to hear that Holly Hillier gets told no 9 out of 10 times. Like I love to hear that other coaches get told no. Like Melanie Mitro, I listen to her podcast and she's constantly saying about how people reject her. I'm like, oh, so that's normal. So I think for me, what I do, and I don't know if this is good or bad, but I go into it expecting a no. Like obviously I talk with enthusiasm and I like whatever, but I expect the no's. And so then when I get yeses, it's like pure celebration. I don't know if that helps, but that's what I do.
Makes sense.
I read the book Go for No, which I don't really like the mentality behind it, but at the same time I did, where he just talked about like the more no's you get, the more yeses you get. And so like getting those no's is with every no, you're one step closer to a yes. And I was like, okay, so this is normal. And even he said in that book, like in all business transactions, the normal ratio is about 1 to 10. So like you'll ask one person or you ask 10 people and one person will respond back and maybe say yes. And so like just knowing that, I'm like, okay, I can crank out more numbers if I know that that is what I can expect, because then it's not a personal thing. And then too, a lot of times when people are telling me no, they genuinely would absolutely love to do it, but money really is a big deal. And so like there's one girl that's like, she tells me no every month, but she's like, but gosh, I wish I could do it. And I'm like, so like to me, I know they're not really telling me no, and they're not even telling the opportunity no. They just are looking at their budget and they just can't. And so that helps me too, just to know like they just can't right now, and that's okay. Like it's not you, it's
Right.
finances in their life and where they are.
Mm-hmm.
Look at him, my God.
You guys.
Yeah. So sweet.
Wow.
So yeah. And then sometimes my biggest issue right now is just not knowing what to say.
Yeah,
Because,
that's true too.
well, and here's my biggest issue, but I think I figured it out. I figured it out last night as I was laying in bed trying to figure it out. But I was like, I don't know what I'm inviting to right now, because my next challenge doesn't start till November 26th. And even then, I'm like, I don't know if I want to do Ship Shop or if I want to do the 21-day fix extreme, because I kind of miss autumn. So it's like, I don't know. Like, so when I get it, if I don't have a plan, that's when my invites suck. So like when I know, okay, I do know I have something starting November 26th, I'm just going to go for it and tell women, okay, I have a new challenge starting November 26th. And then they start asking for more info. That's when I'm like, okay, Lauren, you have to have a plan now.
Right. Well, and I guess it kind of like builds up the anticipation too. Like, remember, it's on the 26th. It's on the 26th. It's on the 26th. So I guess repeating it, and the days get closer, they're like, oh yeah, it's going to start on the 26th.
Right now, that's a really good date. Like, I feel like November and December are honestly kind of fun to be a coach, because you can plan it. So like, after November, everyone's going to feel bloated and crappy. So people are thinking November 26th, that's right after Thanksgiving. So that means I can eat whatever I want on Thanksgiving, but then I can start that next Monday. And so like, that's your marketing ploy right there. And so that's why I started that. And plus that's also when the next Shift Shop rolls over. So it worked out perfectly for me. So that's why I did that. And then like, I haven't planned out December yet, but I'm sure they're going to release the Transform 20 workouts early, which I don't know how I feel about that program yet. That step is just so cheesy to me, but whatever. The coaches who do it are loving it. So I'm like, all right, whatever.
Well, they're saying they love it.
It's like, I don't know how I feel about that.
Yeah.
But we'll see.
Yeah, the step is different, but it just it's like a very Richard Simmons-y.
Very. I think that's what it is. So like, I've been watching some other coaches, like what's her name? Jess Duke. She's a good one to follow, by the way. Jess Duke. She posted a video and she looked legit on it. So I'm like, okay, if I can make it look like you, then I think I can make some sales. But like, there's some people where I'm like, yeah, I don't know about a step. We'll see.
That's when you just film the parts that you're not using the step.
Yeah, right, exactly. So I've just been seeing Brigida with like her step going to the airport, and I'm like, I'm not doing that. I'm not taking my step to the airport. I'm not taking it to a hotel room.
Take a really thick book.
And use it.
Right. Like, if it's a step, then just go find a step.
Yeah.
So anyways, I think having a plan also makes inviting so much easier, because you have a plan.
Right. It holds you accountable.
Urgency there.
Makes sense.
That. And also for me, it's just remembering how different I am before and after this. Like, I literally was the picture of a postpartum mess, like just super, super depressed. But I wasn't calling myself depressed, because I thought that was an injustice to the people out there who really had depression. You know what I mean? Like, I was just a wreck. And then after Hank, it was like a hormonal rage wreck. And so it was like 2 different types of hormonal issues with my kids. But like Beachbody, again, with Hank, I shudder to think where I would have been if I didn't have Beachbody with Hank to pull me out of it again the second time.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, I don't know. I just remember truly, when I say this, what a gift it has been to me. So that's why I'm so eager to share it too. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
That's got to be personal to you, though, obviously.
Right. Yeah.
It's just hard stuff.
It is. Yeah.
And fine.
So and once you hit Emerald, Diamond is just going Emerald again and again and again. So it's like once you realize like I can do Emerald, then you can do it again and do it again. And it's like, I don't know. It's just as soon as you reach as soon as you jump that, I don't even know what you call it, like that cliff. I don't know. Like it all of a sudden it's like, okay, I did it once. I can do that again. I can do that again. And so that's when it starts kind of snowballing into success a little bit. Oh, and I wanted to say on number 5 to follow up. So many times I will see where someone has seen my message and didn't reply. And so I'll be like, hey, I know like life is busy. I open up messages all the time and forget about them. I just wanted to check back really quick before I close signups for whatever it is. And then I get a lot of responses back that way because people like literally how many times have I opened up my phone or opened up my messages, saw it, and then one of them freaked out and I had to go deal with that and then came back and forgot about it. So,
every single day.
Every single day. My mom's like, are you still alive? I'm like, barely, Mom.
Right. Yeah. Or you think to yourself, oh, I won't forget to answer that. I'll go get it. No.
All right. If you guys are good, I'll let you go. I don't want to like keep you on here just staring.
Just staring. Well, kind of the awkward part, isn't it? Well, I don't have any questions right now, but I probably will think of some.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, these kind of calls get your
I
gears
never have
spinning.
questions at first. I have them like in 2 hours.
Right.
Yeah.
When your kid's asleep and you're like laying in bed and you're like, wait a second, but what if I?
Exactly. You need that like processing time, the think time.
It's very true.
He's just farting right now. I don't know if you can hear him.
Poops on Austin again. All right, well, I'll let you guys go. If you have any questions at all, you can blow up my phone. And if it's past 10, I'll probably just message them back tomorrow.
Perfect.
Okay.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.